Good afternoon, YouTube. Coming into you today on this scorching hot Saturday. We are going to do something kind of exciting. I'm going to do an interior swap. So, a little bit of backstory. The old GMC sitting right there. It has had some four-wheel drive issues for the last couple years, and I've kind of just shotgun parts at it. You know, I've put several encoder motors on it, front four-wheel drive actuator, a new switch on the because it's electronic four-wheel drive, new switch in the dash, and nothing ever seems to work. I mean, you can get it working for a little bit and it goes out again. I'm thinking it's probably an electrical bug somewhere, but you know, I'm getting kind of tired of chasing it, and it actually goofed up on me there a while back. I was actually trying to drive that to work, and it picked up, decided it was going to pick up connection and kick my transfer case into neutral. So I was sitting alongside the road. I thought a transmission went out of it because I've put two transmissions in that truck already. It's got 413 some thousand miles, but anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a transfer case swap on it. I'm going to get a manual floor shift transfer case and put in that truck. That way I never have to worry about messing with that ever again. I'll still have to figure out a way to wire up the front actuator, but I'll do a little more research into that. I don't think that'll be a problem really. So with that being said, this has the GMC is actually an SLT model. It has the console, whereas the Duramax has the jump seat in the center. So I am going to take the jump seat out and put it in here, and take this and put it in there. I've got some charcoal gray interior paint. It looks pretty close match. I got it from the hardware store, or Advance rather. But first things first, we got to get these seats out. I was going to do this earlier, but then I realized that these are actually a really weird pocket size. They're an E18. So I ran down to the local Harbor Freight after a socket and ended up buying a new oil filter wrench, a magnet pan, an air compressor. Turned into a lot more than just a pack of sockets. Now I got this set for like $8. So I believe the 18 is the last one. Yeah. So this will be the one we use. But basically, this one's going to be real easy because where this is just an LS model, my seat has power, but this seat does not. It's manual. So, you know, I can move it around. I don't even think there's any electrical connections under it. I should just be able to pop bolts out, pop this seat out, and then pull the bolts out of this. The GMC is going to be just a hair more involved, for the reason being that the passenger seat's lumbar, and there's a few other things down in here. I'm not real sure how much of a pain that's all going to be, but I'll document it here. You guys can check it out. There's actually a lot of stuff going to be coming on the GMC, just because I haven't really done any content on it, and to be honest with you, I haven't driven it in a while. Especially after it done that, I left it parked. I went to move it the other day, and the battery was dead, and I just put a new battery in it there a couple months ago, and so I jumped it, got it running. Battery, tested it, battery was fine. So I think it's going to need new alternator here too for too long. So should be a decent bit of 5.3 content coming up, so you guys have to stay tuned in for that. Meanwhile, I'm going to grab my ratchet and I'm going to start on the GMC first, because once I get that console out, I'm going to have to paint it. Like I said, I've ended up just running down to Advance. Pick this up. It's supposed to be charcoal gray. Where's the paint code? Yeah, which is the same interior color as that, according to a RPO list that I found online for the GM interior colors. So be curious to see how well it matches up. I sprayed some on a test piece on one of my vents. Now granted, the vents look a little bit lighter, I believe, than the rest of the interior. Actually, they blend in pretty well. Let's see if I can pull this out here. Ah, crap. I think I might have just messed that up, actually. Get my... Here it comes. Well, not all that great. I think it'll be alright. I mean, compared to the rest of it. Like I said, this appears a little lighter than that. But we'll see. Let me get that. These just pop in and out. I did, however, while sticking my big fat fingers in there. Come on. There it goes. I did mess that fin up. There we go. Now it's in there. But alrighty. Well, I'm going to grab my tools and get to work on this seat. And we'll take a look at what we got underneath of it as far as wiring. And then go from there. Well, we didn't get too far into that. Houston, we got a bit of a problem. That's not the right size. It's a little bit larger than that. Forums lied. Imagine that. Well, I guess we'll be taking a road trip to get a little bit larger socket, and we'll try again. All right, we are headed to the parts store in the Duramax. It is hot, hot, hot out today. According to their website, they got those sockets, so I'm probably going to buy one and take it out in the parking lot, make sure it actually fits the truck first before, you know, I leave and get home and then realize it don't fit anyways. But I'll give you guys a little bit of a sound clip here in just a sec. This thing sounds, it's just unrivaled. Especially with that, especially with the stock downpipe, it sounds really good. Here we're about to go under a tunnel again. Love this truck. Right, well, we just left Harbor Freight. So the front seats are an E20 and the back seats are an E18. So I'll be able to use my E18 socket that the largest socket out of the set that I bought, the E18, last time. But I got down here and they had everything except an E20 socket. According to the forums, you can use a 15 millimeter. You just gotta be careful you don't round off the bolt heads. And I tested it and it fits. So with that being said, we'll head back to the house and we'll see what we can do. I got the front bolts taken loose with the 15 millimeter, but I need to move the seat forward in order to get to the nuts. And of course, you know, trying to get it a charge off the old dirty mat. So I figured it's a good time to take a Baja Blast break. It is hot. If you guys are out here doing stuff today or this weekend, definitely make sure you drink enough fluids and stay hydrated. It ain't easy, or ain't real hard to get sick from the heat. So I'm probably gonna do it short here in a little bit on since it's so hot. I'm sure a lot of people out there, they see ain't, you know, running the best or the coolest. I'm gonna do a short, but I'll include a little bit of it right while we're waiting. So basically, what I did is I had to recharge my AC here just a while back. Let's see if I can find it here. I bought one of these hoses from Walmart. It's got your squeezer right there, and this snaps right onto that port on your AC. There's another port here, it won't even fit on it, so, and you wouldn't charge it there anyways. I don't know, I think that's just for like discharge if you overfill it or something. Anyways, you just pop this cap off, nice and easy. You put your can of Freon right here. This snaps down onto that fitting, and you charge it. And you fill it. When you snap this on, it'll give you a reading. And if it's real low, your AC clutch will kick on, kick off, kick on, kick off. And that's its way of telling you that it's low on Freon and that you need to charge it. So if it's kicking on and kicking off, just keep pumping into it until it stays kicked on. And I try and charge to the high side of the green, like towards, you know, at least 3/4 of the way up onto the green. It keeps the AC nice and cool. So yeah, figure I'd throw that little bit in there, and we'll keep waiting. And while we wait, we hydrate. Steal line off a stale cracker. But once we get this thing started, we'll get that seat moved and pop that other seat out of there. We're in good shape. Go ahead and pop these off. All right, we are running. Let's give you guys 413,711 miles on the old girl. Give you a little sound clip here. Don't sound too bad, but anyways, now that we got that out of our system, we'll go ahead, this seat out, we'll get this thing taken out. Wonder, you can tell it's kind of weak turning over. It shows full battery, but I need to do some stuff to this. Once I get, the biggest reason I'm doing this swap is just because floor shifter is going to be like right here, so I need to have the jump seat here. I'm gonna leave it in here temporarily. I want to get a different jump seat just so it the truck a little better. I don't know, I might go with a newer style or something. But once I get a transfer case and an alternator on this thing, we'll start driving it more and doing some other stuff. I have some slip-on rocker covers I need to put on it as well. They're just hanging out in there in the garage. I just haven't really messed with it. Been doing too much stuff to the Duramax, so we'll I think we're going to get to a point here. I'm going to do some ball joints in it here before too long. I actually ordered some Apex Chassis HD ball joints, and they were on back order till October. So I ended up getting some Kryptonite ones that'll fit into the stock upper control arms, just because if I'd run the Kryptonite brand, then I can only get the Kryptonite ball joints with that has the mounting bracket on it. And say you're, I don't know, on a road trip or something and a ball joint goes out, you're not going to find one of those in a parts store. Or, you know, if the truck goes down, especially like in this situation I'm in, where this one doesn't run right half the time, and that one goes down, then you're hosed. So I just prefer to stick with one that, you know, Kryptonite's got a real good return policy, I guess, from what I've read, and they'll warranty out. They have lifetime warranty on their parts, but you know, you don't always have 3 weeks to sit around and wait for a part to come in. So we'll go ahead and we'll get the seat taken out and we'll proceed. All right, there was only 2 little plug-ins. Seat came right out. I want to show you guys something. if you're curious where anything goes or any nastiness, or if you want to get your carpet really clean, you definitely need to pull the seats out. I'm thinking while I have this out, I'm just going to go ahead and get this all cleaned up just because it's so darn gross. And found a bunch of loose change, might get you to a car wash, never know. So it's looking like we'll pull some screws here. There's got to be some more bolts in this thing somewhere down in here, but alrighty, we'll keep trucking. Alright, I had to take out the other seat too to get this side freed up. Take a screwdriver, pop this part off, undo these two plug-ins for the lighters and the outlet. You got 2 bolts back there, and then this whole thing will come out. Alright, we got it out. Got that unclipped. Those were 2 10mm bolts. And here this is. So we're going to get this thing cleaned up, painted, and then we will start pulling the jump seat out of the Duramax. Just going to be a repeat of that process, essentially. You know, just pull these seats out. There's a wiring harness on that truck for that console that ran up through here. The only thing that I'm curious about is I don't know how I'm going to do this yet as far as the lighters in the console. I don't know. Maybe. Well, the thing is, I haven't thought of that yet, because I don't know. I may have to, in a couple of other videos, they swapped this whole trim piece out between trucks. And, I mean, I'd like to not have to do that, but, I mean, if I have to, I have to. So, stay tuned. We'll see what happens here. Alright, we're moving right along. Another little thing I'd like to point out that I figured out. So, bolts, right, they're kind of a pain. But if you crawl underneath the truck, you can actually see where those studs stick out. You can soak them with krill oil. I'm using liquid wrench or whatever penetrating oil you got, WD-40, and it'll make your life a whole lot easier to go ahead and shoot those things down, because all of those came out real good but one. I had one, I spent probably a good half an hour getting it out. It fought me the whole way, but once I got it soaked, man, it made it a whole lot easier. So that being said, we're going to keep trucking right along and get these ones pulled out. I'm also swapping these because I'm pretty sure I gotta have the plug-ins free for the other bezel, or not bezel, that's the bezel, for this part right here. So without further ado, we'll keep on going. We're past the point of no return. Dang it, forgot to tape off that little black button there. Might be able to take some nail polish or something and kind of clean it off. I know this is actually a way cheaper alternative as to going and trying to find, matching seats, which my plan on the jump seat that's going in the white one, it's alright. It kind of shows its age. So I think here before too long I'll probably end up putting a different one in it out of like a newer truck and go to the junkyard and find one. But for the time being, it's just quick, cheap, and pretty easy, really. So I need to rotate this a little bit. Right there. Look for places that I've missed. I gotta be honest with you guys, that actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. We just have to see how the truck likes it. Give that some time to dry. Meanwhile, I am going to continue to work on removing. I accidentally cut it off there. But continue removing the jump seat out of this one. So we'll keep after it. Alright, show you where we're at. The seats out of the Duramax. And I got to looking. This does have like a sub here or whatever. I unplugged that, I'm not worried about it. However, in order to have the the plug-in and stuff work on the white truck, I have to have this plug in. So I just unplugged it from there. I'm gonna pop it loose from here, pull that wire out, take it over there and plug it in to the where is it? That must be laying over there. But the part that plugs in over there. And then I'm going to vacuum both of these out before I put them back together, because there's a lot of junk down under them seats. So and then another thing, whenever you're taking the part of the dashboard apart, on this one, 4 screws here, which is the same on all of them, and then there was a couple down in here, and then one way back up into the one, I think it's for like ashtray pocket or whatever. But alrighty, we'll get this wiring harness out of this one, get it plugged into that one, get these swept out and we can start putting them back together. Alrighty, y'all, that was a lot of work. I finally got it. I didn't think I'd have to clean it up, so I got change everywhere. I finally got that rascal out. So the plan is, since the GMC has that wiring harness just laying in there kind of loose, plug this in. These I'll just tape up because I don't really need them, but those I need for the cigarette lighter. So yeah, it sucked. I hung it up from one of the rafters, and I fought with it, and there's all kinds of little clips and stuff holding it in, but finally got it worked loose. All right, y'all, we got them vacuumed out, and apparently the previous owner liked sunflower seeds, or he thought they was going to help him quit rubbing snuff or something, because there's a bunch of them in there. And then the old GMC, yeah, how they say, well, wonder what a McDonald's French fry looks like after a certain amount of time. After probably about 10 or 15 years, they don't look too appetizing, I can tell you that much. But we're going to go ahead and we'll get the jump seat put into the GM seats back in it, and then we'll finally put this back together. And we'll get, first things first though, that wiring harness. Get this old girl. Like I said, I'm gonna plug this in. This part that connects to the back of that console, obviously there's not gonna be anything for it to plug into. I'm just gonna tape it up and kind of stuff it away, and then we'll hook these up to the cluster, or not the cluster, the part of the dash out of the Duramax. I know you guys are gonna say, what, the colors don't match. I'll find the paint or something and get this to where it don't look so janky. I know the carpet's all stained up. I don't have a shampooer, and that part store shampoo stuff, it only does so much. I cleaned on this several times before, like right in here, and didn't really get anywhere. This truck, it was actually, this truck's had a long life. It came originally from North Carolina, and then it ended up in Pennsylvania for a very short amount of time. And then some guys up from around where I'm from actually bought it to, they used it as a paint truck, which was pretty hard on the, you know, there's paint places in the bed, and there was paint all over the back seats. And I mean, I scrubbed and got majority of it out. But I mean, she's been a really good truck for me, and I can't never fathom getting rid of this one. I mean, it's what really got me started into this, and I mean, it's an old truck. You know, you're gonna have to fix it and put parts on it, but I mean, I don't know, it's kind of like a relic to me. So we'll get it put together, and then we'll work on the old Dirty Max. All right, y'all, the moon is out and we are finally done. That took, again, a little bit longer than expected. Once I got the other center console in there, I had to do some slight modifications to some of the vents and stuff that was under there just to make it fit. But in all, there it is in the white truck. Now there is a large hole here where that vent mounted up to. I have a buddy with a 3D printer, so we'll just model a cap there and then put it there, and that'll be good. Got the jump seat all installed. Now, I just don't want to dump all that crap out, but last thing I really need to do is get my auto cowl and stuff out there and throw in a Dirty Max. But I know that's what you guys are waiting for, is to see what the Duramax looks like now. I will say the charcoal gray that the store had versus the actual like charcoal gray in the truck is a little different. But all in all, I don't think it turned out too bad. And there she be. And like I said, this is a little bit lighter gray than that is, but hopefully once the sun fades a little bit, it'll not look too bad. So that was a bit of a job. Took me most of the day, but if you have your other center console and stuff, and you're looking to do the swap, ready to roll, I don't think it'd be too bad. But just between trying to fight the bolts loose, and that's another thing too, before you go to do it, you can soak the bolts in penetrating oil and they'll come out real easy. But if you have all your stuff ready to roll, probably a 2 or 3 hour job. It's just where I was doing the swap, had to do some modifications, swap wiring harnesses and stuff. It took me a little bit longer, but all in all, pretty happy with the turnout. So stay tuned. We'll be doing some ball joints on this, and then transfer case on the other truck, and a few more goodies. So more to come. We'll catch you guys on the next one.